All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday night Teach and Play. I am Michael, also known as Pollen, and tonight I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Susan, also known as Ripped Punzel.
Yes. So Mandy would normally be joining me. Susan has been generous enough to be filling in when Mandy's away. This time Mandy is on the Dice Tower cruise. La-ti-da, yeah,
Yes,
so fancy.
terrible.
So tonight we are going to be going through Tiny Epic Quest, which is created by Scott Alms and put out by Gamelyn Games. We're going to be trying to defeat goblins and learn spells and complete quests to try and be the most victorious player. And we've already got a full chat, and that's fantastic because Ziggy Bobinator's already flailing her pom-poms in there. We've got William McPhee. Hello and welcome. Dean, hello. Yes, so we've got a good chat going already. Yes, they do have a cruise, Ziggy Bobinator. I think I'm not sure how many years this is the second year I've known of it. I'm not sure if it's been more than that, but yeah, the cruise would be fun. That would be nice to be out there. All right, so shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, so yes, Tiny Epic Quest. We will be going on various quests. I've got an exploded view of the map right now, and I'll show you the overhead in a moment.
You're getting some feedback from your necklace against your mic.
My apologies.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you. Okay, hopefully that's better. If not, let me know. Yes, so I've got an exploded view of the map right now. This isn't how the board will actually look while we're playing, but for explaining setup, this is the easiest way to do it. And we'll be going to various locations to try and either raid temples or try and learn spells, defeat some goblins. There's various ways to get points in this game. So I will start with setup, and you're going to be setting up with the various land cards that are available. In the game, there are 4 castle cards and 13 regular cards. So I will show you. We'll go here. So here's one of the castle cards. There's one to represent each player's color. So this is the blue castle. And just for contrast, there's the red castle. The way you're going to set up the board is you're going to shuffle the 13 regular cards separately from the 4 castle cards. Grab 5 of them to create the cross in the middle of the board. Once you've created that, then you put the 4 castle cards, filling in the spots of the cross to make that square, that 3x3 square, and then the remaining 8 regular cards will go around the board this way, and that will be the completed map. So you do have variable play because the map's going to change every time that you play. After you've set up the map, then you're going to take everything in your player color. So the first thing you're going to take is your player card. And this is going to have a few tracks that I'll explain later. These are to try and obtain legendary weapons. You're going to have trackers at the top for your health and your power. And then there's some other information that I'll explain once we start playing. You're also going to get, and this is one of the fun things in this game, not just meeples, but item meeples.
These are so exciting.
They are. So you've got 2 little holes there in his hands, and that's because as you gain items and weapons, you can equip them. So each meeple can hold 2 items. We'll get into those further later. So you've got your player card, your meeples. You'll also have an adventure card. On one side it says adventure and how to resolve dice. I'll explain that later. And on the other side is rest. Well, I'll explain those mechanically later once we start playing the game. You're also going to take the 3 legendary weapons or legendary items that you're trying to obtain. So there is a sword, a staff, and a shield that you're trying to obtain. Those will go onto your player card into the corresponding spots on the, looking backwards, onto the left side. So your sword will start here, your shield, and your staff. And you're going to try and move those along these tracks to earn them.
Now, something that you're not getting to see, but that I saw when Mike held that up to the camera, is the great art on the back side of those cameras. It's so pretty.
Yes. On the back side, you have a representation of the player color as well. So the artwork is the same on each card, but the cape or the cloak that the character is wearing is the color of your player color. Good call on that. All right, so we're going to be putting those onto our player cards. I'll probably have to remove mine to explain a few more things, but start with that. You will also be putting your max tokens. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll grab an extra one so I can explain stuff as we're playing. Get a nice contrast one. All right. So looking at a player card again, if you look at the top, on the 6, there's a little heart next to it. That is your starting health, and at the start of the game, your max health. And you will be putting a little max health token at the top of that to indicate that is your max health. That will be adjusted throughout the game. And then on the 3, there's a little triangle, and that is the power symbol represented by this. And there's a max power token as well that will go at the top. Now I find with these, because they are quite tiny, I find what's best is to actually have them on the card itself, because sometimes you might move the card as you're moving the items around on the card. And if you do that with these above the card, you might start to lose track of where those are pointing. But so that you guys can see, I think it'll show up better on camera. Yeah, it'll show up better on camera if we have them off the card. But when actually using them, I find it's better to have those on the card itself. All right, so you will start with max 3 power and power at 3, max health at 6, and your current health at 6. Next up, we have the round card. So this game is played over 5 rounds with 4 turns in each round. So this is the round card, and you've got a little goblin face that'll be used. Is it a goblin face? Actually, no, you know what? That's one of the adventurers, I think. That's more of an elf face. That'll be used to track the rounds. So starting on 1, of course, and then just continuing on down that track. On the other side of the card is this would be the points that you get for each of the categories. And I'll explain that a bit later. So we're going to have that with the round set to 1. Then you also have magic track. Love the colors in this game. The magic track is where we're going to be tracking any spells that we learn. And there's a mushroom that starts on the beginning space of the track. So you can see there's, move that in a bit, you can see there's a mushroom here. At the start of every round, the mushroom starts at the beginning of the track and will move along the track, indicating how many spells we can learn on any given round. I'll explain that in further depth later. But you can see each of the spell books here has a little symbol underneath. And these symbols will match the various obelisks that are out on the map. But I'll explain that in further detail once we start playing. So I will place this over here.
Perfect.
And if you can put, yeah, that's fine. And then we also have our own little butterflies in our player colors. And this is what we'll be using to track the spells that we learn. So this will be going along that track of books. So we start on 0 off the card, and we'll be moving along that track as we learn spells. Then off to the side, you will have another funky item. So as I said, your item meeples can equip various weapons and items. Well, here is the item rack. There are 12 different items there that you can earn by completing various quests, and they all have different abilities depending on which meeple has them equipped. Plus the legendary items as well that you can earn. Then off to the side, we also have 5 movement cards. I'll show you one as an example. but I'll explain them all once we start playing. Try and get to playing as quickly as possible. So here's one of them by foot, and there are 5 different types of movement, and there's a visual representation of how the movement works, and then on the back there's an expanded art of it. Once it's been used, it will be flipped over. But you've got by foot, by horse, by raft, by griffin, and by ship, and I'll explain those once we actually start using them. Then you're going to have quest cards. I haven't actually shuffled these yet. Just wanted to make sure that they were within view of the camera. There are 2 different types of quests that we'll be trying to complete. So you have what are called movement quests, where you will have representations of the map and your meeples on the map, and you're trying to match whatever the state is of that card to complete that quest. And then you also have treasure quests, such as these. And to complete these, you need to actually complete a temple track. And if you do, then you get whatever the item is that's listed on the bottom. I'll show you how you complete temple tracks later as well. So you're going to shuffle these up. You'll put 3 face out, and there should always be at least 1 of each type. So 1 movement and 1 treasure quest at all times. If there is not, then you discard the oldest in the row and put out a new one, and you'll keep doing that until you have at least 1 of each. We'll set those aside, and we've got a movement and a treasure and a movement. Now I'll explain what the quests are available in a little bit. Lost the staff. Boop. All right. Then we have our 3 meeples. We're going to be putting those into our starting castle. So I've got my red one here. The yellow one is out here. Those 4, again, were randomized and then put out into those 4 spots. And that's pretty much it for setup. I'm going to show you, we will be using dice in this game. So I'll show you a die and the various sides. I'll show you in the order that they get resolved. So first is attack, and we would take damage with those results. Then there's power. We would gain power with those, with some exceptions, but I'll explain that later. The mushroom advances the magic track. Then you've got torches that help you advance through temples, as well as scrolls that help you advance through temples. And lastly, there's an attack symbol. It's a green fist, and that's how you fight goblins. But that will be during the night phase. So the game is played over, as I said, 5 rounds with 4 turns in each. The 4 turns will be movement. We'll be using 4 of those 5 movement cards during the day phase. And then we flip to the night phase, where we will be resolving the various locations that we've gone to. So I think that's about it for setup. Oh, not quite. Goblins. We need some baddies out on the table. There are 7 goblin locations that are called portals. So here's a portal, and you will be putting these goblins out. They've got 2 sides to them. So the green side is passive, and in the first round they go out as passive. Later on they could flip to an aggressive side on the red side. So the way you're going to line those up is, in the portal there's an arrow at the top, and at the top of the goblin token is an arrow. You line those up, and then what will happen is, as you're trying to defeat these goblins, you'll be rotating it, and this represents its health. And if you get it all the way down to that red skull, that's where you've defeated the goblin, and then you get to claim that. So that, as I said, there are 7 portals out there. We're going to be putting 7 passive goblins out, but while I have cards in my hand, I'll show you quickly what the other locations are. This is a grotto. There are various grottos out there that have unique abilities that you can use when you get to them. This will be a temple, and there are 6 different temples with a temple track, and you need to try and advance to the end of it to gain the treasure. This would be an obelisk. There's a book there. to try and learn various spells, and it's the symbol that's on the card that matches the symbols along the bottom on those books. I'll explain how those work once we start going as well. And then the last location would be our castles. So those are the 5 different locations that are available out on the map. So we throw out 7 passive goblins. 3, 4. Oh, a lot of goblins on the high end of the map this time.
So, all near you.
Yes. Nice. Oh, they are too.
You've got friends.
Now, they're fine when they're passive, but once they're aggressive, that's going to start affecting movement. So that's a little tricky that my castle is surrounded by those. But I did randomize this beforehand, and that's how you get variable setup every time, which is great. So you're not always playing the same map every time. Okay, so I've got goblins, I've got the movement cards, Hazel Quest, item rack. Yeah, I think we're ready to go.
You know what you missed.
What have I missed?
Hashtag sharing the pairing.
Sharing the pairing, yes.
I've heard that's a thing.
Using the hashtag, excellent. Sharing the pairing. Okay, so yes, for anybody that isn't aware or anybody that's new to watching the Teach and Plays, I do try and pair a beverage to whatever it is that we're playing. It's not always easy for all games, but this one, I panicked a little bit about it, then I realized what I needed. Because one of the objects in this game is to try and defeat goblins, I'm having what's called a legendary ruby beer, and there's legendary items in this game, from a brewery in London called Witchwood, and the beer is called Hobgoblin. So, yes, we were trying to defeat goblins, and I'll try and defeat that Hobgoblin as well. I don't think I get any points for that, though.
Not from
Probably
me,
not.
anyhow.
Okay, all right.
Maybe from the audience, but
all
not
right.
from me.
Okay, so I think we are set to go. The last thing I haven't explained is the start player token, and we said I'd be starting?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the start player token. It's got the Q and it looks like a card. That represents quest cards. So when you hand this off to the first player to start the round, you would have it on this side. If somebody does complete a quest during the round, you flip it to this side. Because what this is representing is that you don't have to discard a quest card. At the end of a round, if nobody had completed a quest, you would remove the oldest quest card in the row and then replace. So there will always be at least one card taken out of the row every round. So I'll take first player. And we are off. So the first thing you need to do is decide which movement card you wish to use. So as I said, there is by foot, and I'll show these in greater detail now. By foot lets you move to any map card around your current location, just moving one step. I'll take all of these. Next is by horse, and that's moving east-west as many spots as you wish, but obviously just moving straight lines, and you'd be moving on the roads. So if you look on a map again, I'll grab this one. So on this map card, you can see that there's a road that goes east-west across the card. All cards have that road, so they all connect. So that would be moving by horse. Then you'd have moving by raft, and that's moving north-south. So again, looking at a map card, every card has this canal, this river that goes north-south on the card. So you'd be moving by raft up and down the cards, and again, as many cards as you wish. By griffin lets you fly diagonally, and again, as many spots as you wish, but just moving diagonally across map cards. And lastly, by ship, and this is moving around the exterior of the board, counting the map cards that you go through. And that's relevant once we have aggressive goblins on the map. I'll explain that once we do have that situation, though. So I'm going to start by picking one of those types of movement. Once I have picked, I'll put that map card back, then Susan is going to be able to use the same movement. It's not just myself that uses it, it'll be everybody at the table. So if we were playing a 4-player game, all 4 players would get to use the movement that I chose, and then the next player would choose. Regardless of player count, you will always pick 4. So in a 2-player game, we're going to get to pick 2 each. If it was a 3-player game, each player would pick 1, and the start player would pick an additional 1 afterwards. But you always pick 4 over the course of the day phase. So let's see here. basically what we're looking for. The ways to get points, there are 4 different ways. Learning spells, like I said, are at the obelisks. Completing quests, which would be completing the conditions on the various quest cards, and I'll cover what those are as soon as I finish saying what the various points are. Defeating goblins, and gaining legendary items. So looking at the quests that are available at the moment, that's a tricky one. First one is called Sweep Out the Temples. Have all 3 of your heroes on temples. So if you're focused on just trying to get through the various temples, if all 3 of them are at a temple, you complete this quest, which will be worth points at the end, and you gain 3 life. Now we're at max health right now, so that would not be as beneficial as it could be. Next one is Discover Lost Treasure, completing the Shadow Temple. Like I said, there are 6 different temples out there. If you complete the Shadow Temple, then you're going to get this gem. And the last one is Study with Foreign Wizards. Have your heroes on 3 map cards that create this formation. And you cannot rotate that formation. So it needs to form a V, exactly like it shows on the card. It does not matter which side your meeple is on. So each card, am I putting those back in that order, please? Closest to you goes closest to you. When you move onto a card, you pick which side you wish to move to. So looking at this card, you would either move to the temple, and then you start at the beginning of the temple track here, or you move to the obelisk. So every card is split into the left and right sides. You choose which side to be on. And in the case of that V formation, it doesn't matter which side you're sitting on, as long as the 3 map cards you're sitting on create that V formation. And if there's any questions along the way, let me know. Okay. So I covered that. I will move. So let's get started. I think I am going to try and learn some spells. So I'll show this once more. There's 2 parts to learning spells. I'm going to see if I can learn that first level spell, which is sort of a snake shape. So I need to find the obelisk that has the snake.
It's there.
Way over there.
Not that I was scoping it out.
That is awkward. Okay, so that's easy for Susan to get to because her castle is here. It's just 1 step. So then if I wanted to try and push it, where's the scorpion? Scorpion's down here. Either way, that's going to be 2 movements for me to get to either of them. Okay. Well then, I'm not sure how happy I am about that. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a temple. So a lot of this game is trying to figure out the order that you want to do everything in. Order can be quite important. I am going to move by foot.
Okay.
So when you pick the movement card you wish to use, you just push that card aside so everybody knows which movement that everybody will be using. By foot, again, lets me move to any card that is around mine, and I'm going to move into that temple. Now, that is the fire temple, which means I'm going to try and complete that track. I'm going to show my card. This is where each of the player cards actually differ. To try and get the legendary items, you need to complete these temples in order on the card. So this is the fire temple that I'm going to now. If I complete that track, then the legendary item of the sword would move from that first position over to the second position. Then if I complete that next temple, I would actually get this sword and be able to equip it onto one of my meeples and get the benefit of it. So it's a 2-step process. You need to get through 2 different temples, and it must be done on 2 different turns. They can't be completed on the same turn, because when at the end of your turn, we'll go through the rest phase and how that works, but at the end of your turn, everything resolves in terms of temples at the same time. So you need to resolve one, and then on a future turn, resolve the second temple. So I'm trying to get through the fire temple.
All right, and now I shall move by foot as well. And that spell that is so inconvenient for Mike to get to is simply a hop, skip, and a jump for me by foot. So I'm going to move my meeple there. And now the movement by foot is concluded.
And then it's Susan's choice in terms of which movement card she wishes.
All right, I think I would like a little temple action as well at this point in time. I'm eyeballing the desert temple, so I can get there pretty much just one way at this point in time, and that's by horse, of course.
Of course.
And we're going to say that every time. I'm sorry. I'm a 9-year-old kid at heart. What can I say?
So yes, the horse is moving east-west across the map, and any number of spaces. So if Susan wanted, she could move all the way to the other side of the map, but she's trying to get to that temple. So now I use the same movement. Now if I want to, I could move the meeple that is in that temple. It hasn't actually progressed at all, so I wouldn't be losing any progress in a temple. Or, I think I will, how do I want to do this? Okay, I will move to this grotto. Now I'm going to show the grotto. As I said, each grotto has its own unique power, and we'll explain them as we hit them. I'm not going to read them all at once. So this one says, conjure 2 mushrooms. You advance the magic token forward 2 spaces on the magic track. So what I'm going to do, basically why I'm doing this, is I'm going to try and get to the scorpion and learn 2 spells in one shot. The significance of the mushroom, I'll cover that now because this is what I'm trying to do. As you advance the mushroom on this track, you need to at least get to this section to learn 1 level higher than your current level, your current spell level. So we're at 0. If we get into this section, we can learn 1 level higher, which is the spell that Susan is on. If I want to learn the scorpion, I need to try and push the track all the way here, because that lets you learn 2 spells higher. And if you get all the way to the end of the track, you can learn 3 spells higher. But there are detriments to getting into this zone that I'll cover later. Just know that it gets a little more punishing the higher you go on that track. So this game has very much a push your luck element when it comes to the dice rolling that we do during the night phase. I'll give you that back.
All right.
And then one more thing I'll point out on this. There are 4 different meeples here. That means everybody can be here at the same time, 1 of each color. You can't have multiple meeples on the same grotto. All grottos also show that symbol. If you were to look at attack a goblin, you can only have 1 meeple there at a time. Only 1 person can be attacking that the goblin that would be in that location. And then speaking of that, I will also show you. So looking at a temple, there's a light gray and dark gray meeple shown here. That means you can have any 2 meeples of different colors. And then looking at the obelisks, you can have, again, 1 of each meeple represented. And then the castles actually have a symbol that show that you can have any number of meeples, whether they're the same color or not. So, having said that, I moved here to try and push that mushroom up. So that mushroom is going to go up 2 spots, if you don't mind. Because I'm now going to try and make my way to that scorpion to learn 2 spells in 1 turn.
Godspeed.
Thank you. All right, so that's the horse done. Now the tricky part is I need to get there, and you could really mess me up with that. So another aspect of this game is figuring out what's going to be left, because Susan's going to get last pick in terms of the movement card. It takes me at least 2 movement cards for this meeple of mine to get here. But I don't want to risk that she doesn't use the movement card needed for me to get there. So again, I'm going to show by ship. If you were to use that movement card, you're moving around the outside of the map, but going through each map card that is external. Again, that's important once the goblins go to the aggressive side. The temple I'm trying to get to, or sorry, the obelisk I'm trying to get to is actually landlocked. Because it doesn't have a side that is on the outside of the map, I cannot get to that by ship. So I don't want to risk setting myself up for that second move and Susan uses the ship move. I won't be able to get there. So instead, I'm going to go by raft. By raft. And I'm just going to move down the river and I'll go right now with that meeple.
Lock it in while you can.
Yeah, I'll get there while I can.
Okay.
That's only half of the trouble of trying to learn 2 spells. The rest of the trouble is during the night phase.
All right, so now I can move by raft.
Mm-hmm.
And I shall move there.
Okay. So Susan's going to try and attack a goblin. Or maybe she's setting up to move somewhere else afterwards. But as it stands right now, she's trying to attack a goblin. If that goblin was on the aggressive side, it would flip over to the passive side once you move into that spot, indicating you're going to attack it, because it's only on the passive side that it has that health tracker. All right, so that is the raft done, and then your pick for the last movement.
By Griffin.
By Griffin, okay.
And actually for this turn I shall idle because I have all my meeples where I want them to be. It's not optimal because if I were to idle on the castle, I would be able to regain a power or a health, but that's a bit of a moot point because it's early days and I have lost none and I can't go above my maximum. So I shall just sit here and
just prepare for that battle.
I'll do some whittling on my little spear and hope that the goblin doesn't notice.
So when it is your turn to pick a movement, even if you're not going to use the movement, you do still pick one. You can opt to move or idle, as Susan said. If you idle and you have a meeple in any castle, doesn't need to be your own. If you have a meeple in any castle, you can regain 1 health or 1 power. We're both at max because we're just starting out, so that's irrelevant even if she had one there, but it's max 1. Even if you had 2 meeples in 2 different castles, it would still just be the 1 point. Okay, so by Griffin is what I have. I have him where I want, I have him where I want, so this is the only meeple to move. I could go up here. Ooh, maybe I'll do that. Or I could go, that won't do me any good. I could go down to here, gaining power, that won't do me any good. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up to this grotto. So this one lets me roll the dice. And any torches or scrolls that I roll, I get to advance in the in any of my temples. So
before you roll, there's a pertinent question in chat.
Sure.
So you're sharing the pairing a passive goblin or an aggressive goblin? Actually, it was red, wasn't it? It was a ruby ale.
It is ruby. It is.
So it's an aggressive
legendary
goblin.
Ruby beer. So yes, I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that aggressive until I finish it.
There you go, Dean.
Then it's very passive.
There's
Good question, though. Okay, so yes, I'm going to be rolling the dice. I don't suffer any negative consequences in this case, so I get to ignore anything. All I'm looking for is torches and scrolls to advance through my temples. Now, I'm trying to go through this. Oh, I'll show it. So this is the temple I'm trying to go through. And you can see there's scrolls represented here. So for the first 2 steps, I need 1 scroll each. If I want to advance from that second step to the third step, I need 2 scrolls. And there are ways that you can spend your power points to advance as well. And then from the third to the fourth step, I need 2 additional scrolls. So using this grotto that I just ended on, I get to roll the dice, and any scrolls that come up, I get to start advancing on that track. And I'll put my meeple back. No scrolls. No scrolls, no torches, no result. All right, that was not very effective.
Mecha Shadow is thanking you for displaying the smaller games, for playing the smaller games.
Well, you're very welcome. And it's also a break on my mind from the last one we streamed was Tricarian, which was, that was large, but I'm glad people are looking forward to seeing this as well, so thank you. So that is it, right? You chose Griffin. I got no result out of that. We flip that over. Once 4 of the 5 movement cards have been used, we now go to the night phase. Night phase I will be starting because I am the start player, and you need to choose whether you wish to adventure or rest. And that's where this card comes in. So this is your adventure card. And as I was saying, this shows the order that the dice will be resolved, so I'll explain all those. If you no longer wish to push your luck, you can flip the card over to rest and then resolve what's written on the bottom of the rest card. But I'll explain what you do for that when somebody rests. So I am trying to learn that spell. For me to learn, that's the Scorpion spell, which is level 2. I'm on 0. I need to get that magic track up to at least the 2 levels. So I'm hoping I roll mushrooms for that. And then to advance through the fire temple, I need scrolls. So I'm hoping to roll scrolls. So the first thing is I decide whether I adventure or rest. I'm going to go adventuring. And then the order these will be resolved. Wow, that's rough. Okay, so the order these will be resolved is, first thing, I'll show the card again. First thing you're going to do is damage. And the way damage gets resolved, that would be the die, the side of the die that we're looking at. This is almost sort of in a way cooperative until it's not. So any of the faces that show that red goblin face, I'm the first player, I take a damage. And I'll put all my tokens back here on the board. So I'm down to 5. If there were more, then Susan would be taking some as well. So if there were 3 of those goblin faces showing, I would take 1, Susan would take 1, and then I would take a second one. Next, we would resolve any of the power results. So you would actually gain power, resolve the same way as the attack. So if there were 2 power results showing, I would get 1, and then Susan would get 1. If you're already maxed, it doesn't roll over to the next player, it's just wasted. So if there were 2, and say I was maxed and Susan needed 2, the first one goes to me because I rolled, but it just gets wasted. The second one goes to Susan and she gets 1. She wouldn't get both of them because I'm full. After that, you then resolve any mushrooms and advance on the magic track, which I didn't get. So that is the top 3 results done in order. You can see there's the arrows here indicating that those are done in order. Also, I'll show you that you could use the lid of the box as a dice tray. And they actually show all the results inside here as well. But for ease of seeing on the camera, we're just going to roll on the table. So then the bottom 3 results, everybody gets. So we've got torches, scrolls, and the attack symbols. Everybody gets to use those. So for myself, I just need scrolls, so I get to move 1 on that temple track. Nobody needs torches, which is unfortunate because I rolled 3 torches
so many
there.
Torches,
yeah,
yeah,
many torches. Much light. But
you did roll a scroll, and
Yep.
I too can take advantage of that if I don't push my meeple onto his face.
now let's say I was in 2 different temples that needed scrolls. I would have to pick. They don't both get to advance. You choose which scrolls get assigned to which meeples. That's my turn that's my first turn for the night. So then it goes back to Susan, and she gets to decide whether she's going to go adventuring or rest.
All right, and I haven't even stepped out of the gate. I was just benefiting off of your roll, so of course I want to go
Of course you do.
adventuring.
Of course you do.
For adventure. All right, so in order.
So first thing would be damage.
Yes, there is no
There is
damage,
none.
no pows to the face, not
Nope.
the face. But we do have 2 powers, so I would get a power if I had room to absorb it. I do not.
And then I would get a power,
yes.
but I'm also maxed, so
Right.
I don't get any power.
Next comes 1 mushroom. So we move another step up the magic track.
Getting closer.
And now we have 2 scrolls, which is a little bit of an awkward position. So I'm going to take one of those scrolls. But now my next step requires 2 scrolls. So
looking at your card, your player card, at the top here, it does say that during the night phase, and we're in the night phase now, that's when you're rolling the dice, you can spend 2 power to either advance 1 torch or scroll, or to defend against 1 attack. So in this case, Susan needs 2 scrolls to advance. She's already used 1 scroll to advance 1 spot. She has 1 scroll left. You can combine a die roll and your PowerPoint spending to advance again.
Now, Dean is asking if this video will be archived for future reference.
Yes, this is actually going to be on Dice Tower and also on our Twitch channel. Twitch archives broadcasts for 2 weeks. I think it is, maybe 3 weeks, but I always upload them after the fact as well so that they're still there. But thank you for asking. Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
so I'm in a situation where I have 1 scroll left to use, and I am going to spend 2 power.
Yep.
So that I can move the next step on the temple track.
Excellent. So I'm looking for scrolls. I just need 1 to move 1 spot, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'll spend the 2 power to advance that extra spot. And that's back to me now.
Yes, it is.
And I will continue adventuring because I need those mushrooms. I need to try and get to at least that 2 tier of spells to be able to trigger that obelisk. Come on, mushrooms. All right, first off, no damage. That's fantastic.
Excellent.
Next is power. There's only 1, so I gain 1. Susan won't gain any. If there was a second one, she would gain 1.
I'm powerless.
Next is the mushrooms. There is 1 mushroom, so we go up 1 more.
Boop.
So Susan's already in the range she needs because she was only looking to learn 1 level higher than her current level. That allows her to get 1 level higher. Then we have a punch and a scroll.
Ah, punches. I was looking for those. So a punch means that I can now tick the damage up on my goblin by 1 spot.
So I'll show on a different card. I showed it before, but just now that you see the context. So this would be an example of a goblin being attacked. Like I said, when you set them up, you just line up those arrows at the top. But then when you hit it for 1, you would rotate that 1 tick. And there's 6 ticks here. So it takes, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4. It would take 5 hits. 5 hits would finish the track. And that needs to be done all in 1 turn. If you do not complete that on this turn, that meeple will be coming back to your castle and you would lose all progress on it. So that's, again, one of the push your luck elements to it, where do I keep rolling and risk getting hit harder and harder each time? Or do I just give up on that and try again another day? So you took that. Did you want to use the scroll? You don't have the energy.
No,
right. So there's 1 scroll. Susan needs 2 to finish that temple track, but she doesn't have 2 power to be able to spend. However, because I did get a power in this roll, I do have the power to spend. I will do that. So I'll spend my 2 power, and that gets me to the end of that track. But that does not resolve right away. That only resolves when you rest. Because if I do keep pushing and pushing, trying to get those mushrooms up higher, but taking damage, if I get down to 0, all of my guys come back losing all progress on the map. So there's a give and take. There's, do you want to keep pushing or not?
If I have said something that reminds you of something that you've seen in the Tick, it's completely accidental because I do not know this cartoon, video game, book, whatever it is. Incidental pop culture references. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right.
You going to keep going for that goblin?
Yes.
All right. Get some mushrooms on the way, please.
So I want some kapows to the goblin's face, and I want some scrolls.
And mushrooms.
And mushrooms.
1 more mushroom.
All right. So
and no
we
attack.
have
That's great.
a power, which I will take.
Yep.
I'm not sharing. And 1 mushroom.
Yep.
And there's the 2 scrolls that I needed.
Nice.
So I'm going to finish the desert temple.
And then a torch, but nobody
that
needs
no one
torches.
can need.
Now, turns out I could have saved my power and not spent it to get to the end of that track, but I didn't want to risk trying to get the extra 2 in 1 roll.
Oh God, I've been assigned homework now. What have I done?
Okay. Now, the other thing is, if you're going to decide to rest, it must be done at the beginning of your turn. When you're handed the dice, this is when you decide, rest or adventure. If you decide to adventure, you're now at the mercy of everybody else's rolls. Because remember, for example, Susan did adventure, but now if I rolled damage, say I rolled 2 damage, I would take 1, Susan would take 1. She can't rest again. She can't choose to rest again until it comes back to the start of her turn. And I will adventure because I need 2 more mushrooms. Okay, so first off, there is 1 damage to me. I'm down to 4 health. I do get 1 power. There is just the 1 there. And we do have 1 mushroom.
Ooh.
Getting closer. I just need 1 more.
And 1 pow.
Torches don't do any good. And 1 attack to the goblin. All right, back to you.
All right. I am going to keep adventuring.
Still need 3 more hits on that goblin.
Yeah.
Get me a mushroom. Yes.
All right. So this is a tasty, tasty roll.
So no damage to us.
Yes.
No power. 1 mushroom.
1 mushroom.
And that gets within the range I need. But now things are going to get a little more dangerous. I'll explain that once Susan's done her turn here.
So the torches again that no one can use, but the goblin gets 2 smacks to the face.
2 hits in the nose.
And 2. So I
Nice.
just need 1 more to
Just
put
need
that goblin
1
to
more.
bed.
Okay, now I'm going to grab this track. I'm going to show you the magic track again. So we're in the first area of level 2. So looking at this magic track again, looking at the top of the sections. So over here, there's nothing. You just resolve the dice rolls normally. But once you get to this section, there's symbols here. I know it's a little tough to see on this camera, but it has the hit symbol, that red goblin face, is now -2. And the power symbol is now irrelevant. You can no longer earn power, and you're going to get hit twice as hard. So that's where it does get more dangerous as this keeps advancing further and further. And if you get down to that 3rd section, now those goblin hits are 3 health at a time. Mushrooms are now -1 health as well, and power still doesn't get you anything.
Dean is asking how you choose games for this stream.
Pretty much whatever I enjoy playing. Everything that I'm playing are games that I've purchased, and if I think that sometimes, like in the case of Apocrypha, I know that the community was having a really hard time learning it because the rulebook for that was atrocious. And since then, the company that put out Apocrypha has actually put that video onto their website because everybody agreed that's what they needed for a learning tool. So if I find that there are games that I have that the community is having a hard time learning, I'll choose some of those. Otherwise, if there's no trouble games currently out there, then I find something that I enjoy playing, and I'll put it up on the stream. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that on the right place. You've finished your roll.
I did.
It's over to me. I'm at the end of my temple track. I'm where I need to be for the spell, and this is not doing me anything during the night phase, so I'm going to chicken out.
Oh boy.
And rest. So we'll talk about the consequences for you in a second.
Yes.
So when you rest, so you flip over your adventure card, and you just resolve what it says here. This will let you know which meeples come back to your castle. So anybody on a portal, that's where the goblins are, they would come back whether you finished it or not. If you're resting now, that's it. They come back to your castle and you lose all that progress. I don't have any of those. Next would be obelisks. So that's why I'm learning this spell. So as I said, trying to learn that scorpion spell, I needed to get 2 levels, and I do have the 2 levels on the magic track. I'm red, so I get to move up 2 on that track. But almost equally importantly, I'll show another player card. So I showed you that along the top is where you're tracking your health and your power. On one side, it does show that your max health is 6 to start, plus 1 for every goblin you defeat. And on the other side, your max power is 3, plus 1 for every spell level you earn. So I just went up 2 levels on the spells. I get a plus 2 max on my power, which is great. That was the spells, that was the obelisk, so he comes back. Now, whether or not I made it, say I only made it to the level 1 and didn't actually learn those spells, he comes back and I don't get to learn any spells. I don't get to earn partial, it's all or nothing for that. So he comes back to my castle. When somebody comes back to their castle, it does indicate on rest that when somebody comes back, you gain 1 health or 1 power. You get to choose. So I will take 1 power. I'm pretty low on power right now, and I did increase my max, so I've got lots of room there. And then next would be anybody at the end of a temple track. So I did get it to the end of the fire temple track. He's going to come back. I'll take 1 power for that. And as I was showing on my player card, I now get to advance 1 on that sword legendary weapon. So I now just need to complete, where is it? The ice temple. If I can complete that ice temple track, I'll then get that sword, and it makes fighting goblins much easier. And that is me. Any meeples on grottos, partway through a temple track, or what else? I think that's it. They stay where they are. So if I did not complete that temple track, I can leave him there and try and complete it on a later turn. It's only meeples at the end of the track that would come back.
And just a recap of the active quests that we have to have our meeples in a V position, so 1 lower and 2 up top.
Yep.
We have the the Shadow Temple.
Yep.
And
Which
we have
is,
to...
Shadow Temple is here.
Right there.
Yep.
And we have to have all 3 of our meeples in a temple.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
That's a very committed, everybody's going Indiana Jonesing. And that's about to change because, like I said, if nobody takes a quest, then we actually remove a quest and refresh it with 1 new quest. So, consequences for Susan. I've actually bowed out. What this means now is any damage that Susan rolls against herself, she takes all of it because she's the only remaining player. So that adds to that push your luck, right? I've bowed out. If it was 2 hits, she'd take 1, I'd take 1 if I was still in it. But now that I'm out, I don't get any benefits of any rolls, but I also don't suffer any consequences. So now all the consequences are going to be on Susan. So she only needs 1 more hit on that goblin.
I'm done the temple, and I've learned that spell, but I really want to continue punching this goblin in the face, and hopefully I don't take too many myself.
And because we're at that level that level on the spell track, each hit is actually going to be -2 to health. Your health right now is 6.
So I could actually kill myself.
She could kill herself here.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, like I had pointed out, you can spend 2 power during the night to avoid. I'll show this on the card again. So during the night, spend 2 power to gain a torch or a scroll, or defend against one of these results. Now, it's important to note that it's not just defend against 1 damage. It's defend against one of those red goblin results on a die. So if we were at the end of the track and each one was -3 health, you would actually block that entire -3 health because you're blocking the die roll itself, not blocking 1 damage. And she does have 2 power left to try and block 1 hit.
Alrighty. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Woo!
Nice.
All right.
So first off,
I do take a hit.
Yep.
So that is 2 to the face. I'm not going to spend the power to block that. The mushroom goes up 2.
Yep.
Into the danger zone.
Now, before you continue on, it is important to keep tracking that. Yes, Susan does have that 1 hit that she needs against the goblin to finish, but you need to resolve these in order. And the reason I say that is, like I was saying, when you get to the end of this track, if you roll any additional mushrooms, that's -1 health as well. So if there were 3 mushrooms here, 2 would get it to the end of the track, and that 3rd mushroom would be -1 hit. And that is not blockable. You cannot block magic hits because you're blocking that red goblin face when you're spending the power to do so. But you only got to the end, so that's good.
And there's a torch that still nobody cares about, but most importantly, it's my final punch to the face.
Very nice.
So that goblin ticks over, and then I collect him as such.
Yep, so that'll be good for endgame scoring, but also that increases your max health by 1.
It does, thank you.
You're welcome.
So at this point in time, since Mike has bowed out, it is my turn to choose whether I want to keep adventuring.
Push on!
Theoretically I could, but I have no reason to continue.
No, there's nothing left to go for.
I'm going to go for a little nap, as
All right.
I do.
So first thing is bringing back anybody that are on portals, whether they finish their goal or not, and that is done.
So he's coming back to the Yellow Castle, and I get to claim a power or a health, and I'm going to claim a health.
All right, next up would be obelisks.
Obelisks. My little snaky dude comes back to the castle, and I shall claim another health for that. And that gets my little yellow butterfly on the spell track.
So she moved up one spot on the track because that snake symbol was the first tier. I pushed to try and get that 2nd tier, but I needed to make sure the mushroom got far enough to be able to earn that. Plus, you went up a spell level, so your...
oh, right, my power,
your power goes up
as
max
well.
1.
Woo!
Now, when your max goes up, it's just the max. It's not the actual current power or health. That stays as it is.
And finally, I have completed the desert temple. So dude comes back. I'm going to bump my health again.
Okay.
And that was the first step in my equip sword track so that
Okay.
my little sword moves over by 1.
So we're both 1 temple away from getting a legendary item.
Yes.
All right, so now we go to the resolution where we tidy everything up. First step is the magic token resets. Then we're going to have all of the passive goblins that are still on the map now flip to an aggressive side. So that first round was kind of free for movement. I'll explain what the consequences are of this once we get back to moving. So there should be 6. Don't put him out yet.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
And you flip those over to aggressive side first because the next step is putting new goblins on the map in the empty spots, but they go on passive. So you get 1 free round whenever they come on. So he's going to stay green. Then we're going to be moving the first player marker, but as I showed you before, so now you'll see why this is relevant. It's still on this side showing quest card. That means nobody has received a quest card yet. If somebody had, we'd flip it to this side saying that you do not have to discard a quest card. But because nobody took a quest card, we do need to actually discard one. So it's the oldest card in the track is gone. They all shift over, and then we bring out a new one.
And now our incoming quest is another Shadow Temple.
Another Shadow Temple, okay. But with a different reward. So if you complete the Shadow Temple track, you only get 1 of those quests, but you can choose which one you want. The first one gets the gem, and the second one gets the shovel. I'll explain what they do if one of us gets it. Okay, so this goes over to you. We go up 1 on the round track. And yes, these reset. And Susan gets to pick first. So that first round took a bit of time because we're explaining throughout the whole process, but we'll start, I'm not going to keep explaining the same stuff over and over again. Rounds will start to move a little quicker.
All right, I'm just mapping up my plan, my nefarious plan. Mwahaha.
iCubic, which quest was just removed? That was the all 3 heroes on temples, and I doubt either of us were going to be going for that one anyway, so that's not a loss. But it is something you need to keep in mind because a quest could potentially be removed. If you're trying to get one of the last quests and you don't think anybody's going to actually pull a quest off of there, you need to make sure that you actually complete that quest before the end of the round, otherwise it does get removed.
Okay, so I am going to opt to travel by horse.
Okay.
Siggy Bobinator, you know what to say?
Of course.
Yes, thank you. So my little dude is going to go there.
Okay, so moved into a castle. It doesn't matter whose castle it is. If you move into a castle, you gain 1 heart or 1 power.
I shall gain a power.
Okay. So now I get to move by horse. By horse, eh? So this guy's kind of stuck up at the top. That's not going to do me any good. So basically one of these guys moving this way across the map. You know what? Don't mind if I do. Okay, so I want to get to the Ice Temple because that is the second temple I need to get that legendary sword. This is where the aggressive goblins come into play. When they were passive, it wasn't an issue. We could move anywhere we wanted. If I want to move through a map that has an aggressive goblin, you have to spend 1 power to do so. But that is only moving literally right through the map. If you either start on a map with a goblin or end on a map with a goblin, you don't have to pay the power. So if I was to move onto this card, I'm fine, even though there's an aggressive goblin there. And it is from map card and on. So just want to make sure this can be seen. So on this, I know there's, excuse me, there's a lot of colors out there. If I was on this map and this aggressive goblin is here and I wanted to move across this way, I don't have to pay the power point because he is on the same map card. It's not by region, it's actually by card. So if I'm starting on the same card, I can move over him, that's fine. So I will go over to the Ice Temple. Moving through that aggressive goblin, I have to pay 1 power to do so. That is horse done, and I pick next. do I wish to go? I'm going to go by ship. So by ship, as I was saying, moves around the outside of the board. If I was in this castle wanting to go this way, let's say I wanted to move by ship around to here, that's where you look at each of the outside cards and look at any aggressive goblins. So if I went this way, I'd actually pass through this goblin and this goblin to get over here. I'd have to pay 2 power to do so. I will not be doing that. I'm only going to move this way. Ending on a tile with aggressive goblin is fine. I don't have to pay the power. And this is gain 2 power points for each hero that I have outside my castle. And all of them are outside my castle. I gain up to 6 power points, obviously up to my max. So that puts me at 5.
All right, so
By ship.
I will travel by ship a very short distance. I will just zip up to the Shadow Temple.
All right.
And
So that's done.
And for my next move, so that was your ship. So I choose and then I get another one, back to back.
You're choosing the next one.
Yes.
I'm choosing the last one.
Okay.
Yep.
So.
No pressure.
No pressure.
And yes, Eric, very colorful components in this.
Alrighty, I shall travel by raft.
Okay. So by raft again is the north-south, moving along the rivers.
To the Forest Temple.
By raft. Okay. All right, I will go all the way down to the Water Temple. I did have to pass through 1 card with an aggressive goblin, so I go down 1 on the power meter. And that is by raft done, and I get the last pick. I think I'm gonna go by Griffin. So by Griffin lets you move diagonally. I'm going to move up to the grotto that lets me roll the dice to try and advance through temples. So I do have 2 meeples in temples. I have one that's looking for torches, one that's looking for scrolls. So I think this is a good time to try and roll the dice and get a head start on that temple movement. So I got 1 scroll and 1 torch. So they both got to move 1 spot. That's not bad. I accept that.
Okay, we've got a couple of comments from chat that we should address.
Sure.
Beak Nasty. On a scale of meeting 2 goblins on a path to Gandalf screaming, "You shall not pass!" How epic is this epic quest?
Oh, Gandalf would be pretty epic. I don't know if it's that level, but
Yeah.
You know what? For the size of box, I'd say this is pretty epic. It is such a tiny box that to have this much game in it, I'm going to give it. What was the scale? It was meeting 2 goblins on a path to Gandalf screaming. What would be in between that? I don't know. Stopping at an inn at the Shire. I think that would be epic.
Yes.
Having a beer at an inn in the Shire. Yeah. So I'm going to give it that level of epicness.
And Mike Jones, no really, asks if this is when the show usually starts. I may be late to the Dragon Gate one, but I'll still get there. Thanks again for doing that one.
No problem. Yes, that was a. Can I call you Mike? It's a long name. I do recognize the name though. Yes, Mike had requested Dragon's Gate, which should be next week's. Now I will let you know the same way I let you know that we were going to do that one. It may end up getting postponed 1 week just because Mandy is on the Dice Tower cruise right now, so that might affect the schedule. Yes, we normally start at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but if it does look like it's going to be bumped 1 week, I'll contact you through the same YouTube video that you were contacting me through before. But you are very welcome. I'm very happy that we were able to get a copy so that we could do a teach and play of that. And we do take requests. If there are any other requests out there, you're welcome to contact us at MichaelandMandiPlay@gmail.com, or even just commenting on any of the videos.
Hashtag I'm not Mandy.
That's right. Okay, so I moved by Griffin. I moved up here. It's over to you.
Okay.
Moving by Griffin.
Actually, there is nothing I want to do by Griffin, so I am going to choose to idle in the castle and
Okay.
gain a power.
All right. So again, you don't have to move. You can choose to idle. And if you have any meeples in castles, you get 1 health or 1 power. It doesn't matter how many meeples you have in castles. You're limited to the 1. So you chose to idle and got your max now, both health and power. Very nice.
Yes.
All right, that is the day phase done. Your first player. Would you like to adventure or rest?
Oh, of course. I want to adventure.
Of course you do.
All about the venturing.
Yes.
All right, so I take a hit to the face right away.
Yep.
And then we have a power, but I'm max, so that doesn't do anything for me.
And again, I'll reiterate this. Because she's maxed, it's just wasted. I do have room for 1 power, but if Susan is not using that power, it doesn't get used by anybody. If there was 2 power there, the first one would be wasted, the second one would go to me.
There's 2 scrolls. They were gold last turn, but now they're useless to me. But I see that
I'll
Mike
use
can
them.
use.
So I need 1 to move 1 spot, and then I'm going to spend 2 power to move the second one. So there was 1 scroll left after I moved the first spot. 1 scroll plus spending 2 power to get that second scroll moves me the second spot.
And a punch to the face that no one can really use. So.
Oh, you're not attacking, are you? Not this round.
I had a plan.
Okay.
But the going by Griffin kind of messed me up.
Okay.
So I just kind of threw up my hands and decided to
Gotcha.
whittle my spear at the castle.
All right. Well, I will continue adventuring. So I'm looking for scrolls. I'm looking for torches. And that's it. I'm just going through temples. All right.
Ooh, lots of torches.
No hits to the face.
None.
That's good. No power. That's unfortunate. 1 mushroom on the track.
Yes.
Which I think is irrelevant, where none of us are at obelisks.
Yeah.
And 3 torches.
That's beautiful.
So would you like to go ahead first?
Sure. So I'll take 1, 2, and sure thing. I'll spend 2 for that.
Nice. So
And
3 spots.
Also 1, 2, but I won't spend.
Can't do both. You need to. So if you want, you have a total of 3. So
Right.
actually, I will mention this.
Yeah.
If you have meeples in temples that require the same die roll, they don't both get the movement. You have to spend. You choose which ones. You can flip back and forth, but it's a total of 3 to spend. So if you want, instead of spending the power, you could move 2 spots here and then 1 spot there.
Okay.
And you're not using any power
It was
to
poor planning on my behalf. I should have
but
chosen a temple that had a scroll.
take your power back.
Yes.
And you'd be at max.
Bunbarian wants to know if you did the Kickstarter for Unstable Unicorns.
Did I?
Does that mean they only have 3 legs? Or are they
easy,
mentally
easy,
unstable?
easy to knock over. Oh, that might be scary. Yeah, something with a sharp horn that's unstable. No, nobody wants that.
Nobody.
That's Certifiable Studios, I think. And no, I don't think I did. And the reason I have to think about it, I've backed over 160 projects now. I'm way up there. I start to lose track of them.
Hashtag he's got a problem.
Yeah, no, I don't. I have no problem. No, I don't think I did back that one. But if I'm thinking of the right one, let me know if that is Certifiable Studios. Okay, so yes, you're at max.
Yes.
So yes, you do have to pick and choose. They don't all
Good to
get it.
know. That
So
is
I
me.
also get torches. So
Yeah.
1 and then 2, 3.
Nice.
All right.
Beauty.
So that is my roll now,
Yes'm.
and I will keep going. I'm gonna adventure.
There's yet another hashtag. Hashtag Mike needs an intervention.
Do I? I don't think so. I don't think anybody that is watching this
Yeah.
would think that I need to stop.
Hello, pot.
Yeah.
This is kettle.
Okay, so first of all, no damage for me. I do get 1 power,
Geez, hello, look at the mushrooms.
and that is just all mushrooms all the time.
1, 2, 3.
And 1 torch. That works for you. Do I want to spend the power? Yeah, I'm going to spend 2 power to make that 2 torches to get to the end of that track. Over to you.
All right. I'm still venturing.
All right.
All right, so first off, I take a damage.
We've been doing okay for damage so far.
Yes. There's 2 mushrooms. This is getting frighteningly high already.
Yep.
And there's 2 punches that no one can use. Over to you.
Okay. So now, even though neither of us are looking for those mushrooms, we don't want that advancing now because we're not looking to learn any spells this round. It's still a danger though, because the higher you get on that magic track, the more punishing the rolls are going to get. So having said that, I have no way to block any incoming damage, and it will probably go to 2 damage each. I'm going to rest.
All right.
So, resting, first thing, any heroes on portals come back. That's attacking goblins. There are none. Anything at an obelisk comes back, but again, I'm not learning any spells. And last is at the end of a track. So, this meeple is not at the end of the track. He actually stays there. He will not be coming back. I can try and complete that temple on a future turn. This one is complete though. So he's going to come back to my castle, getting me 1 health or 1 power. I'll take the power. And advancing the last step on that legendary sword track, I get to equip that to anybody. It does not have to be the meeple that went through the temple. I can equip it to any of my meeples. And you know what? He earned it though. He's going to get it. And I'll make him right-handed. There we go. So just to see, because it is kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. There's my meeple with his legendary sword. So, let you know what the legendary sword does. It's the same for all players. The way you get them is different. So, for example, I needed to complete the fire temple and the ice temple to earn that. But if I look at another player card, it's actually the water temple and the shadow temple to complete it. So everybody's legendary items do the same things, but we need to complete different tracks to be able to earn them. And what that does is during the night phase, the equipped hero, so it's only that hero, gains +1 attack on goblins for each power spent. So I can actually, if I'm not going to, say I was within 1 hit and I didn't want to push any further, I could just spend a power to get that extra hit to kill the goblins. So it's much easier to slay goblins when you have a large legendary sword. So that is me.
Yes.
He doesn't come back because he's in a grotto. He doesn't come back because he's partially done a temple. It's over to Susan to decide if she wishes to push on.
Now, I have regrets that I started meeples in 2 temples that require torches, because now I need 8 torches to finish these off. And doing that alone is going to be hurtful. Even doing it with Mike's assistance is going to be tedious. So
I think you'd be good for at least 1 round. Not that I'm trying to encourage, well, maybe partly trying to encourage hazards, but
I can take it for another round because the mushroom isn't in the danger zone yet.
And the order of resolving is very important because you resolve damage first, then mushrooms. So guaranteed the next, if she does decide to roll, the hits are only going to be one apiece.
I was totally going to chicken out, but you notice how he talked me into this? Here we go.
Not a single hit.
All right.
And 2 torches. Look at you.
Yeah, okay, that was worth it because the mushrooms did get pushed into the danger zone, but like Mike said, order of operations, that does not affect me right now. And 2 torches, so now instead of, well, I have to do one or the other, I can't do both. What is important to me now? Probably this guy.
There's 2 things to look at.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm trying to chase my legendary sword with the Forest Temple, and I'm also keeping an eye on a quest with the Shadow Temple.
So knowing that these quests are in that order, there's 2 Shadow Temple quests out here. This one will be gone because we still haven't earned any quests. We haven't been very good at questing this time around. But there is the second one that Susan can go for. So that will be here for at least a couple more rounds. Yeah. She's got time to be able to resolve that. That's fine.
So I lose the choice of rewards, but the quest cards are good for points and for loot zors anyhow.
Yep.
So
now you do have one more option. If you wanted to get to the end of that track, you could spend the rest of your power to get 2 more torches.
Oh, I thought that was just once. Look at
well, it's 2 power to advance 1, so spend 4 power and you would advance 2, right?
Yeah. I do not wish to deplete myself, so. Okay.
The power can be very beneficial because not only is it to earn torches or scrolls to advance through temples, it's also to block any incoming damage.
Yeah,
So if you start getting to a critical point in health, you can start using power as well to be blocking hits.
Yeah, it's a versatile buffer to have, and I don't want to leave myself completely without.
Another option would be roll again.
Another option would be that, but with that mushroom going to ding up to the top.
Yeah. So right now, because the mushroom did advance 2 spots, any hit is actually 2 damage.
Yeah. So this is when all his sweet talking does not do him any good, and I'm going to rest.
Okay.
Now, I really have no following up actions because the 2 meeples on the temples stay. They maintain their place, and I'm already standing on a castle, so that is a quick and easy cleanup.
Yep. Okay, so we've got the magic token getting reset. Any passive goblins that are out there get switched to, we do have the
there is
one,
one, yeah.
switch to aggressive because you had defeated one there. And then those get flipped, and because nobody did complete a quest, oldest one is gone, and a new one comes in. And what do we have coming in?
All right, so our new quest is the Water Temple
Water Temple.
for the key.
Ooh, that's
to equip the
convenient
key.
because I am 1 step away from completing that Water Temple.
Convenient, he
Bonus.
says. The Master Shuffler.
Yes. Okay. I've got the first player token. I think we are all set. The round token will advance. We need to start getting some quests,
Yeah,
don't we?
this is going to be a really low-scoring game.
Yeah. This is all about teaching you how to play, not
Yes.
necessarily how to play well.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a great quest that I am well within reach of, so that's fine. So I've got 2 meeples to work with. I do have the sword, so I think I need to go goblin hunting. Let's see here. So I think I will do that. Oh no, you know what I will do? There's one grotto. I just need to find where it is. That's awkward. So there's one grotto that's way down here on Susan's side. Advance one of your heroes 1 space on a temple track. So I could actually finish it off during the day phase if I can get a guy down there. So how do I get a guy down there? That's the question. It'll take 2 movement, or I could travel by ship, because again, the ship goes all the way around, but I'd be passing through.
Oof, 2 powers.
Doesn't
either
matter
way.
which way. I'd be passing through 2 aggressive goblins. I'd lose 2 power, and I only have 2 power. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to make this a 2-step process. And because it's the first round, I know I'm going to get to pick again. So there's no way that Susan could pick something that wouldn't be beneficial to me. It'll come back to me, and I'll get to pick something to get there. So I'm going to go by Griffin. Moving this meeple into Susan's castle, I'll go visit, say hi. And because I'm moving into a castle, I get 1 health or 1 power. I got the power.
All right, that is the same Griffin that deprived me of any meaningful choices last round. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
So I'm going to idle for this round and gain 1 health.
Okay. So Griffin done,
Yes.
your pick.
Griffin done? Gryffindor.
Gryffindor,
Oh
yeah.
Boy. Oh boy, I'm sorry. Whew. Alrighty, I know this is helping Mike, but it's also helping me. So let's be all cooperative, shall we?
You wouldn't be able to block me anyway because
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I want it to. So let's
Yep.
travel by raft down to advance one of my heroes 1 space on a temple track.
Nice.
Yoink.
Okay, now if you do hit the end of a temple track during the day, it resolves immediately. You don't have to wait until the night phase and then resting. You do get to resolve it immediately. So you are completing the forest temple.
Yes.
So he's going to come back to your castle, gaining health or power,
Nice.
and you're maxed out all around.
Yes.
Very nice.
Woo.
And what else?
What else? That is the final step that I need to complete the quest for my legendary sword.
Shing!
Yes.
Very
yes.
nice.
Can't you hear it
As you
flailing
unsheath
out of
it.
the scabbard?
Yeah.
All right. Also a right-handed dude. Oh, you're a lefty. Jeez. Okay.
But you're giving it to the guy that earned it. That's fair.
Yes.
And again, it can go to any. Now, if all 3 of your meeples were already filled with 2, they can only hold 2 items each. It would actually go into your castle. So you'd put it aside your card, if you wanted to give it to somebody at that point, they would have to be in your castle to then equip it. It would be stored in your castle.
And kindly don't read anything into the fact that his meeple is facing this way and my guy's standing behind him with a big sword.
Behind my back, eh?
Nothing.
Well, I'm out of here. I'm going to take the raft and move down here as well.
All right.
And again, any grotto, you can have one of each color meeple there. So Susan wasn't blocking me by going there. And I will also finish that track. So that is the water track. Multiple things are going to happen here that are quite exciting. So first of all, he's going to come back to my castle. I get 1 health or 1 power. I like the flexibility of power, so I'll take power. I'm at 4 of each. Next, that will advance my shield 1 spot on the legendary track. So now I only need to finish the forest temple. Where were you? There, the forest temple here to be able to get my shield. And that is the quest that just came up. So finally, everything. First quest. So, discover lost treasure. I completed the water temple. So I'll show our first completed quest here. And that's going to get me the key. So I get to equip the key. And this says that when the equipped hero, so it has to be whatever hero is using it, when he enters a temple, immediately advance it to the first space on the temple track. He got in with a key. He can get a little further than anybody else. Now, normally you would have your quests underneath your player cards. But for space, we're going to have it to the right. We'll line them up to the right. And then this refreshes right away. And the next one coming in is the Forest Temple, equipping a fairy. Which, conveniently enough, that is the next temple I need to get my shield.
There's a lot of convenient things going on, isn't it?
Convenient, yes. Yeah. All right, that was your pick, so I get to pick next.
Yes.
Let me see here. Well, it is convenient. And I think I will do it. So I'm going to move by foot. Moving by foot, I will, take the key. Haha, I earned the key. I didn't take the key. Too much talking. Oop. Key off the item rack, and he did earn it, so I'll give it to him. And he will go into the Forest Temple. Because he has the key, he automatically starts in that first spot.
All right. My little dude is going to come up here to learn the
one-stop shop
spell.
For convenience.
I know,
Definitely,
right?
Yes. Okay. Learning Scorpion.
Yes.
So Scorpion is 1 level up. Okay.
Yes.
So you're not pushing too hard to get that. Okay.
No. And I get final choice.
Yes, you do.
And I shall travel by ship.
By ship. Okay.
And my dude with the pointy sword will come out and do a very short haul to meet a new friend.
All right. So by ship also lets me move around somewhere and use my sword. I was worried that I wouldn't get to use that sword. Now, when you're moving from a card, you have to move off of the card. You can't move just to the other region on the card, left, right. But moving by ship, I just want to get to any goblin so that I can start swinging this fancy sword that I got. So I'm going to go around this way here. And again, you don't have to pay any power points for starting on or finishing on a map card with an aggressive goblin. And once you get to that card with an aggressive goblin to attack it, you flip it over to the passive side. Because you're going to talk about it a bit first, right? Then you're going to start swinging.
Yes.
Okay. And that was...
It.
Hold on, who started this? If I went last... Did we forget to pass this? 1, 2, no. I think we might have got something out of order in there somewhere. We'll have to go back to the video of that.
Yeah.
We'll just continue on because I think...
I pass that to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, here's where you can see I did complete a quest card because I got the water temple. So I do flip that token over to indicate that we will not be discarding any of the quest cards that are up there. And I'm first to adventure or rest. Well, I'm adventuring. So I need torches. I need punches to a goblin face. And that is it. That's just a grotto.
Okay.
He hasn't been moving for a while. I don't know what he's up to over here. All right, let's see. First off, 1 damage. No power. We do have 2 mushrooms. I'll get that.
Yes, I believe this does have a solo variant.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I'll cover the other variants at the end. But there is a solo. There's also a more difficult variant. And there's an expansion that I actually haven't played the expansion yet. But I think the expansion was Kickstarter only. But it does have a solo variant. I'll cover that in greater detail at the end. So, damage. I already put the mushrooms up there. And then there's 1 torch and 1 scroll. I do need a torch.
Okay. Boop. And I will take a torch and spend 2 power.
Okay, to move that
to
extra
move
spot.
An extra spot.
Over to you.
All right. I'm venturing.
Okay.
There is no hits. 1 power, which is nice because I just spent 1.
Yep.
1 mushroom. 2 torches, so that finishes the Shadow Temple.
Nice.
And 1 punch.
All right, so we each get to use that.
Or a stab.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm going to keep adventuring. So I'm still looking for torches and punches. No damage, 1 power. That's great. That puts me at max. 1 mushroom.
I'm kind of concerned about the lack of damage. I feel like we're going to have a lot of rolls that start sucking hard.
Yeah, we played, what was it, 2 nights ago? And we were just getting damaged like crazy. That was just, we were getting beat up left, right, and center.
This feels very suspicious.
And yet we're not doing that well score-wise either. So I know part of it is, we're focused on teaching you guys, but I really don't have a good excuse for what's going on here. Then we have 1 scroll, 1 torch, 1 punch.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, so I'll take a punch.
And I'll take a punch.
I'm going to spend 2 power to get the extra torch I need to advance on that temple track.
Okay.
And you're already maxed on your track.
Yeah,
so
but I'm going to spend a power to use
the sword's ability.
And gain another punch.
Okay. Now, when you're spending that power on the sword, you do not have to have the dice at the time. You can do that on anybody's turn, but not while you're resting. If you rest, then your turn is over and that meeple would go back to your castle.
All right, again, suspiciously no damage, but there's 2 powers, so I gain a power and Mike gains a power.
Woohoo!
There's 1 torch.
There is 1 torch.
There is 1 torch. What you gonna do?
Okay, sure. I'll spend the 2 power to get that 2nd torch and finish that temple track.
Okay, and now there's 2 fisticuffs, which for me finishes off my goblin.
Okay, it puts me within 1, but I also have the sword. Do I want to spend the power to do it? No. I'm going to roll once more.
All right.
Yeah, I think I can just I will fight my way through this goblin. So I'm still adventuring. No damage. 1 power. 3 scrolls and a torch, which does it does nobody good good whatsoever. Yeah.
And this is where I bow out because
you rest.
I've
Okay.
completed all of my objectives.
There's nothing left for you to gain. I was hoping that if I did get some damage, I could catch you for 1 as well.
Yes, I know you were.
So now I could. Do I spend the 1? I think I could still roll. I want to earn this goblin kill.
Like I didn't.
There we go. So first, no damage, no power, 1 mushroom. 3 hits.
Wow.
He is more than dead.
So
he comes over.
After he was down.
Max health goes up 1. Did you increase your max health?
I did not. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you can always double check because your max health will be 6 plus however many goblins that you've killed. So if you do knock your stuff around and lose track, you can easily count it up. And then your max power will be 3 plus however many spells you've learned on the spell track. Okay, so I've killed him. I've completed that track. I will also rest. Did you resolve all of your rest?
I did not.
Let's do that first.
All right, so first off is the portals.
Yep.
He goes back to the castle. I'm going to gain a power. Then
the obelisk.
The obelisk. He comes back. I learn the scorpion spell, which increases my max power by 1. And then I get, because he returned to the castle, I gain a health or power.
Very good.
And
the end of the temple track.
Right. Finally, the Shadow Temple, where I shall gain a power. And now I can claim the Shadow Temple quest.
Woohoo!
So for this, I get to equip the shovel. When the equipped hero moves to a map card, immediately roll the dice and gain 1 power for each power dice rolled. So I'm like digging for energy, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice. But again, it's only the meeple that is actually equipped. So Susan's going to want to start moving that one around as much as possible. And that would be a great way to start hitting some of these grottos that give you those one-time benefits, the one-time powers, and then move on somewhere else. Okay, that's all of you guys. So now I will rest.
Okay.
And first is the portal. He comes back. I will take... I'll take some health. I was down to 3 health. That was getting a little scary, actually. And then end of the temple track. So that is the... Oh, we'll refresh this.
Right.
That's still fine. So that is the forest temple, which actually gets me my shield. Woohoo!
Nice.
And I think it's thematically appropriate that that goes on the guy with the sword. So I'm going to show that one more time. There we go. Sword and shield. 2 legendary items. Now the shield, it doesn't matter who has the shield. The shield's ability is spending one power to defend against one of those red goblin die rolls. And that is irrespective of which meeple that the shield went on. So normally you would have to spend 2 to block it. Now I only have to spend 1 to block it. Also, I completed the forest temple, so I got a quest. So I discovered, that's here, instead of moving, the fairy. So I get the fairy, which is the little butterfly here. And the benefit of the fairy is, instead of moving normally, the equipped hero may move up to 3 map cards to a grotto. Count map cards orthogonally. So I've got some free movement there. It doesn't matter which movement card is picked. I can move that up to 3 spots to a grotto. And you know what? This one's been chilling at a grotto the whole time. Obviously, you're liking the grottos. There's something cool in there. You can start moving to them.
So when I took the quest that gave me the shovel, the Ice Temple came out as a quest. And now we have a movement quest that comes out where we have to have 2 heroes in the center map card.
Okay. And the benefit to that would be?
You can advance your spell token 1 spell.
Oh, nice.
In the spell library.
Okay, so token goes, well, first of all, the mushroom goes back to 0. Any passive goblins will get flipped to aggressive. I don't think we have any passive. We do not. So then we replenish with 2 passive goblins where we defeated them. That's going to go back to Susan on the correct side. We don't have to worry about discarding any quest cards because we did pull some quests out that round. And the round token moves up, so we're on to the second last round. And you are first.
All right. I need a plan. I need a plan. What am I going to do?
So now that we're getting close to the end while Susan's thinking, I'm going to show you the round card again. So we're on the 4th round, so that's going to be tracked here. But more importantly, this is what dictates endgame scoring. Anything in the red is going to be negative points. So this is your spell level. You want to learn at least 3 spells to not lose points. Quests completed, you'll want to complete at least 2 quests. And then goblins defeated, you'll want to defeat at least 1, which we both have done. The higher you get exponentially, the more points you're going to get as well. And then the last thing that's counted is every legendary item that you have is another 4 points.
Okay, so I'm going to choose to travel by raft.
Okay.
And Shovel Dude is going to come up here and visit that castle.
Okay.
I would roll the dice to gain power, but
you're maxed
power,
all over the place. Yeah. So the first thing would be gaining a health or a
Yeah,
power, but
yeah.
you're maxed. And then because of the shovel, she'd get to roll, and any power, it's the power symbols you'd be looking for, right?
Yes.
Would be getting your power as well. But yeah, you're maxed. Well,
Yes.
rough life. What are we looking at? By raft. And what am I looking for? That's the key question. Already done that. By raft. Okay. Where is this in the grand scheme of things?
3 up.
3, eh?
Yep.
Whew.
In the danger zone, my friend.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. By raft, I'm going to move this meeple to the fire temple. People might be saying, but Mike, you've already completed the fire temple.
But Mike.
But I've got plans.
Oh.
Okay, so that is the raft completed. I get to pick the next movement. And
Yeah, you moved past an aggressive goblin.
I
Thank you for
totally
pointing
did.
that out,
Thank you very
Jim.
much. And that's why we need chat. So yes, I spend 1 power. Thank you. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go by
Yes, he's very sympathetic, isn't he?
by Griffin, which lets me move diagonally. Sorry, yes. I guess I'll let you use it as well.
Thank you. You're very good to me.
And I will move. Who do I want there? I'm going to move this guy here. I have just completed a quest. So that quest that came in was having 2 heroes on the center map card. Haha. Which lets me advance 1 token on the spell track. So now this is only 2 away. Only 2 away instead of 3 away. 3 away can be done, but you need to get that mushroom all the way to the end of the track, which is a very dangerous territory to be in when you're rolling dice. So just by nature of completing this quest, by doing that, I've now advanced 1 and only need 2 to get there.
Such a schemer he is.
Right? And because I did go up 1 level on the spell, I do get to increase my max power by 1.
And our new quest that comes out is another ice temple.
Okay. So I'll just remind you that we are still okay here, but whenever new quests come out, you always have to make sure there's at least 1 of each. 1 travel and 1 temple. If there isn't, then you remove the oldest, and you keep doing that until you have 1 of each. So, by Griffin to you.
By Griffin to me. Oh. I will travel up here.
Ah, Nerfenstein's in the chat.
Yes.
Excellent. And needs the 1. Very good. Yes, the sympathy. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Nerfenstein seems like it was a Kickstarter, though. I assume that's talking about the expansion that I have. You have a copy of this because I've seen you paint all of your items, which looks great, by the way. I think I commented on your video saying so. So yeah, I think you must be talking about the expansion I was mentioning. I'll show that at the end.
All right, so I'm visiting you in your town. Again, I cannot gain any loot out of that.
Up to?
I'm just trying to freak you out, man. I've got no plan.
All right. Well, it's working. You get to
Excellent.
pick the next mode of transport.
All right. I shall travel by foot next.
Okay.
And I shall come down there.
Okay, and that's the next level.
Yes.
So you're playing it safe there with the
I
spells.
am playing it very safe.
Okay.
I'm a safety girl.
Yep. By foot. Okay. Well, I've got this sword and shield, and I think that sword needs a bit more blood on it. So I'm going to go over here and go after this goblin.
Nice.
And then I pick the last one. I think I'm going to go by ship. No, by horse. I'm going to go by horse, but I'm not actually using the movement. I'm going to use my ferry. Yep. So again, the ferry lets the equipped hero, which is this one. That hero's already served the purpose of getting that quest complete for having 2 in the middle, and lets me move up to 3 spots to a grotto. So I'm going to move here, which lets me conjure 2 mushrooms. Because I am trying to push 2 levels on the spell track, I'm going to want to get those mushrooms up a little quicker. So that gets me a head start on that.
Okay. I feel like I simultaneously just have too much and too little to do right now. By horse, eh? Mm-hmm. I've ran out of actions. I can't get all 3 of my meeples to where I need them to be. So to do a quick calculation, I think moving this guy over to poke some goblins is going to make the most difference in the end.
Another option would be this track as well, because
absolutely.
we do have the 2 quests.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Going to killing, are you?
Going to killing.
Okay, so that's horse done. And we are on to rolling. And you are first player. I will let you go first.
All right. So there's no hits.
No power.
No power. There is a mushroom.
Excellent.
There are 2 scrolls.
Which does not help anybody.
Nope.
Neither of us are in temples.
Oh, and okay, so temples, the scrolls and the torches are
irrelevant now.
Irrelevant.
Yep.
But we do get a punch.
Woohoo! So I'm just looking for punches and mushrooms. What are you looking for?
Punches and mushrooms.
Punches and mushrooms.
Yeah.
You don't need as many mushrooms as I do, but
no.
No hits. 1 power each because there were 2 powers rolled.
I'm maxed.
You're maxed. Look at you.
Actually, can I?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So I'm going to use the power of my sword and spend a power to punch this goblin in the face, and then I will power up.
I'm not 100% certain on the timing of that, but we'll just say that she had spent the 1. And that's something to pay attention to. If you're maxed in power and you have the ability to use something like that, use at least 1 to take yourself down, so that if you do earn any power, then you actually do earn the power and it's not wasted for being maxed. Okay, and then yes, 2 punches. Did you take the 2 punches?
I shall do so immediately.
All right. Scroll doesn't help anybody?
No.
Over to you.
All right.
Shrooms.
A shroom. Okay, there's a power. I'm not going to pull that again.
Okay.
I should have done that.
Just in case, yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
A shroom,
Okay.
a scroll, and 2 punches. But
Which
I don't need to do that because
kills him off.
He's gone.
Very nice. 2 punches, I'll take that. And that finishes mine as well. Okay, over to me. I'm just looking for mushrooms now. So you have what you need, but you've got to stick around once more because you did commit to adventuring. We get our max health up 1 for killing the goblin. Your max health goes up 1.
Thank you.
Max health? Yep. All right.
So healthy. Oh, there it
is.
There it is.
Okay, well, on the bright side, we're still in that safety zone on the magic track, but that is 3 goblin faces that are laughing at us right now. So the order is I take 1 hit, Susan takes 1 hit, and then I take 1 hit that I am actually not going to take. I'm going to spend 1 power using my shield. No, I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit because if I do get up to that area where the hits are 2 apiece, I want to be able to start using the power for that because you block the entire attack. I do get 1 power, and then the scroll is useless. Do I even bother passing these off?
No.
You want to take a shot at it?
No, I don't,
okay.
actually.
So you're going to rest?
I am.
All right. So first are the portals.
Okay, so Stubby Guy comes back to town, and I will gain a health.
Very good.
The obelisk, I have learned the scorpion spell.
Yep.
So that puts me up 1 on the track, and I gain 1 power.
1 to your max power.
1 to my max power.
Yep.
Thank you. My hands knew what they were doing, even
Yep.
if my mouth
But
didn't.
you did actually get that guy back, so if
Yes.
you wanted to take the power as well, or the health.
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. And then he's
on a-
already in a
yeah.
castle. Okay. I'm going to push on because I need mushrooms. I need mushrooms? Yeah, I need 3 more mushrooms. Oh, boy. I wish I had the legendary staff. I'll explain what that does if one of us gets it, and if not, I'll explain at the end of the game. But right now, I'm wishing I had it. Okay. No hits. That's great. 2 power. That is also great. And then 1 mushroom, please.
1 mushroom.
And I'm going to keep pushing. Ooh, 2 hits. I'm the only person playing, so I take both, which would kill me. So I'm going to have to start spending. I'll spend 1 power to block 1 and 1 health for the other. And 1 more mushroom, please. And I still need 1 more. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, 2 more hits, so I'm going to take block both. I'm really glad I had that shield. There's no way I could have kept blocking if I didn't have the shield. And no mushrooms. Oh, boy. Do I push on, people?
Does he push his luck?
I'm down to 1 health and 3 power. I need 1 more mushroom. No guts, no glory, right? I don't even need to see what the chat says. I know what the chat's going to say. Yeah.
Needs
okay.
this one.
There we go. Okay, so
Oh,
no damage,
Yes.
1 power, and the 1 lonely mushroom that I
Woo,
need.
there it
That
is.
puts me into the range to earn 2. Okay. Whew. Thank you needs the 1. Rest. So first, portals. I killed this guy. Yep, so he comes back, and I will gladly take a health. Then obelisks. This guy comes back, and I will go up 2, please, on the
Yes, you will.
spell track.
1, 2.
Woohoo! And I'll get another health for that. And that is it. I don't have anybody on a temple track. Okay, so then mushroom goes back. Any passive? I don't think. Oh, there's 1 passive there. He'll go to aggressive. And then we will replenish the goblins in the portals. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did any quests come out?
No.
No. So we do have to get rid of the oldest quest. That will replenish.
So incoming is a positional quest.
Okay.
Have at least 3 of your heroes on at least 3 map cards away from your castle, and you're counting the map cards orthogonally.
Okay.
And if you complete this quest, you gain 2 health and 2 power.
You don't need it. I do.
And you are delivering the royal decrees.
Ah. But of course.
First player token.
Thank you. And we're on to the last round.
Oh, God. Not enough time.
No, there isn't. 3 cards away from your castle. So when it says counting orthogonally, you're just looking at 1, 2, 3. That would be considered 3 away from your castle.
And Elvis is in the building. That's pretty cool. Hey, Elvis.
Hey, Elvis. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go hunting another goblin. So I'll flip that. Let's see here. Where do I wish to hunt? Actually, I'm really low on everything. That's not good. I need health.
Maybe here.
Yes. There indeed. Huh. Okay. I will move by Griffin.
Okay.
And this one is going to go diagonally down to that grotto, where I gain... Oh, wait. No, that's not a good time to do it, though.
Oh, because
Because it's
in
2
the
health.
castle.
Yeah. So the grotto I do want to go to eventually, but won't yet, is You gain 2 health for each hero that is outside your castle. I have 2 heroes in my castle right now, so now is not the time to be doing that. So instead I will go, I'm going to go by, oh boy, ship.
I like how you popped your peas.
Going to go by ship using, how do I do this? How do I get there? Okay. By ship. Yep. By ship going this way around to attack that goblin. So he stays that. I did pass through because, again, when you're moving by ship, you're moving basically on the outside of the board because this is all considered water, but you're counting the land tiles that you're passing through all around. So I did pass through 1 aggressive goblin, so I have to go down 1 power. Ship to you.
All righty. This is going to seem like a really lame use of the ship, but I'm just going to go here to the ice temple.
If it's where you gotta go.
And again, because I hold the shovel, I could roll for power, but I'm at max power, so.
Right. Okay. So then your pick next.
All right. I would like to travel by Griffin.
Okay.
And I'm going to go up here. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong spell. I was looking for the bunny spell. That looks like the cougar spell.
Just in front of you. Yep.
Yeah, bunny is there. So that changes my choice.
Sure.
Instead to traveling by horse.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
You think someone had to say it. You don't know how hard I was biting my tongue.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know. So I'm going to travel there for the
Okay.
bunny.
So again, playing it a little safe with that. You
Yeah.
only need to get one level, but it's a big hit if you try for a higher level spell and don't get it. So
it's very painful, and I'm not. I don't like disappointment.
So by Griffin, you're forcing me to do this before I get everybody out of my castle, are you? Okay.
I suppose I am, but that wasn't
wasn't the purpose,
No,
right?
no.
It was just a happy coincidence.
It was.
Okay. I will move down here.
Okay.
So in that grotto, I gain 2 health for every meeple that is outside, or every hero that is outside of my castle, and I've got 2 outside, so I get 4 for that, putting me back up to 7. That was much needed healing there. I get to pick the next one. What do I have here? The key.
So he's good for temples.
He is. He is. Well then. I can't get there from here. Oh, curses.
Oh no.
I was going to come join you in here.
So you need by sea.
Or by horse.
Right.
Both used. Okay. Well,
Again, not deliberately.
right. Where's another temple I could get to? That temple won't do me any good now. Okay. Well then, I'm going to move. What's left? You're going to get last pick.
That is an excellent point.
Did we miss something?
Yeah.
Sure.
Kabuki. No, wait. What was it? Bernardo said that you moved as a griffin instead of a horse.
I think you called Griffin. We both moved as a Griffin, but I
moved as a
right,
horse.
sorry.
I had called
You are
Griffin
right.
at
Yeah,
first.
you had called Griffin,
Good
so I was
catch.
going by
Thank you
that.
so
Yes,
much.
thank you very
Yeah.
much. Okay. So I'll drop, yes, absolutely. I was still going by what you had called, but yeah, I forgot that you
Yeah,
took that
yeah.
back and moved my horse. Thank you very much. Okay, well then let me rethink this. So I'm looking at your call of the horse.
Yes.
Okay, then that makes this much easier. I will move him
There you go.
over to here. And because he has the key, he moves in one spot. That helps. Thank you very much. And then I get to pick next.
Yes.
I'll move by Griffin, which puts me down here, which now gets me the 6
There you
health.
go.
which will put you at a max of 8.
That makes your path much easier.
Yes. Yay, chat.
Yes.
Keeping us honest.
And I shall idle in the castle for this turn and gain 1 health.
Okay. And you get last pick.
And for my last movement, it shall be by foot.
Okay.
And I shall go and poke a goblin.
Okay. And I just realized that with that combination, I did just complete that quest. Because that quest is having all 3 steps away from castle. 1, 2, 3.
On at least 3
1,
map
2, 3.
cards.
Oh, is it on 3 map cards
Yes.
as well? Curses. Okay. You're picking what now? By foot.
By foot,
Which
yes.
only goes 1 spot. That's awkward. But I could opt to use that power to move 3 spots to a grotto. I don't think there's a grotto 3 steps away that is also 3 steps away from my castle. But I can move back to the same one, which doesn't help me. Ha ha ha. So close to completing that quest. And by foot does not do it. Okay. Where can I get by foot? He's stuck in the corner, isn't he? I could gain power. That might not be a bad idea, actually. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can't even get to any grottos from there. That's unfortunate. Okay. I'll go there. So I'll go to that grotto, which lets me gain 2 power for each hero outside my castle. So that's going to max me out at the 6.
All right.
So I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling good. I'm going to make it through that temple. I'm going to kill that goblin. And I'm going to sit in that grotto. That's all that one's going to do. Okay, so I'm first player.
Yes,
Well, guaranteed, I'm adventuring. We've got 1 hit that I will take, 1 power, I'm already maxed, 2 torches, and a scroll.
All right.
So I will take a torch and then spend 2 power to take the extra 2 torches there.
And I will take the 2 torches.
And that's it. Nobody needs scrolls.
Nobody needs scrolls.
Over to you.
All right. I take a hit.
Tiny epic dirty dancing.
Oh, jeepers.
So stuck in the corner. Yeah.
Nice one, Nerf. Okay, 2 powers, which I cannot take.
So 1's wasted to you.
Yes.
I will take 1.
There is a mushroom and a torch, and I will spend 2 power so that I may use that torch.
And moi aussi. So I'm at the end of the track. So if we both get to the end of the track, if there was only, like, in this case, there are 2, what are we in? 2 Ice Temple quests that are up here. So we will both get 1 because there are 2 available. Let's say there was only 1 there, or who gets first pick. It's whoever rests first, because the end of the track does not trigger until you actually rest. There is the chance you could lose that if you end up getting defeated. Defeating has not happened, and it looks like it won't happen in this playthrough. You know, fingers crossed. I'll cover what happens if we get to the end and neither of us have been defeated. So that's over to me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm done there. Still looking for some punches, and that's it. No damage. 1 power. And then 1 mushroom. 2 scrolls and a torch.
I will spend 2 power to complete the last step of the Ice Temple as well.
Okay. Over to you.
And I will keep on rolling because I'm hoping for some punches.
Yeah, we're both hoping for punches. I'm going to flip this guy over for you.
Okay, so, oh, thank you.
Yep.
So that wasn't the kind of punch I was hoping for, because that's to me.
Your own nose? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah. And I got a mushroom. And a torch and 2 scrolls.
And that doesn't do any good for either of us. We're
Nope.
we're both looking for punches.
Yeah.
You're still looking for 1 more mushroom if you want to
Yes.
learn that spell.
Yes.
All right. Moving on. One punch to my own face. Why are you hitting yourself? And we've got scrolls and torches that do no good, but we do get one punch.
All right.
And I'm spending the rest of my power.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Oh, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I can't rest yet anyway, so
Okay.
Because you can only rest at the start of your turn. So I can spend that power to finish him off. I've kind of played I've shown my hand, but anyway, over to you.
All right, so a punch to my face, but I get a power. 2 mushrooms, which is
That's all the mushrooms you
good
needed.
for my spell track.
But now it's getting
A
scary for
scroll.
the level,
Yeah.
and nobody needs scrolls.
1, 2, 3, and I don't have enough power to buy my way.
No, you don't. So at this point, I am going to spend all of my power, and that will finish that goblin off. He needed 4 more hits. I did get the 4. My max health goes up 1. It's over to me. You might as well keep those on your side because
All
that's
right.
done. That's done. I am out. Now the pressure's on Susan. So I will resolve. Hero's at a portal. He comes back. I'll take power. And obelisks, I wasn't at any completed track. So because I am first to rest, I get first pick of these quests. So he's coming back. I'll take power. And I don't have any tracks here to advance, but I do get these. Now it's going to be irrelevant because we're at the
Yeah,
last one.
yeah.
But I kind of like, do I want to go Yanni with the pan flute? No, I'm going to go boomerang. For Australian friends out there, I'm going to go with boomerang.
All right, and we will refresh this. It's kind of a moot point, but for the sake of completion,
Sure.
it's another movement quest called Defend the Inland Region. Have all 3 of your heroes on separate map cards not connected to the coast. And if you were to succeed in this, then you would get to take any goblin token in play and not attacking another hero and place it in your score
Nice.
pile.
So it's an instant kill
Yeah.
for a goblin. So when it says not on the coast, you're basically looking at that first cross when we were setting up the game. There are the 5 cards in the middle. If you have 3 meeples on 3 separate cards in the middle, that will complete that quest. I will mention that if you have that already fulfilled, so let's say Susan had them in place, that doesn't count. You need to move into that position. It's not just have it done, it's need to move into it to complete it. Okay.
All right, so Mike has tapped out
All you.
like the lame ass he is. And I'm going to
Harsh.
keep on going
Harsh.
because
Why are
I
you punching
either
yourself?
need more punches to the goblin or more power so that I can buy the death that he richly deserves.
Or more mushrooms to make those hits even harder.
Stop. Stop.
Wahahaha.
All right, my dark prince. I shall roll.
Godspeed.
Ah, so punchy.
Ah, wow, yeah.
All right. So I've got
All punches and none to your face.
3 torches and 2 punches, which is kind of awesome. So I'm going to take the 2 punches that I got organically,
Yep.
which leaves me with just 2 that I need, and I have enough power to buy those. So another dead goblin in
You
my
got
trophy
'em.
case.
Yep. Very good.
And that is the end of my turn. So now I
Keep
too-
going.
No.
No. Okay.
I will rest.
Yep. So portal.
Portal, goblin guy comes back and I gain a power. The temple guy comes back and I'll take a health for that. And I will take the remaining quest for the ice temple. So this would allow me to always move by Griffin, the hero that has the panpipes, rather than moving normally. So it's a choice that I have.
I know it's irrelevant, but come on, it's item equals.
Yes.
You earned
yes.
it. You didn't just do that.
I totally just did that. And because it's weird, I'm going to have the guy who has the shovel hold the panpipes in the other hand.
He's got to do something when he's not shoveling.
Yeah, totally. And finally, I have the meeple coming
Obelisk.
back from the obelisk where the bunny spell is, so I learned that.
Yep.
Which moves me up a max power. And I also gain a health for the
Yep.
goblin.
Yeah, you've got 4 goblin kills,
Yeah.
so 6 to 10. Yeah.
It's completely irrelevant, but it's important.
And 10 is the max.
Yeah.
10 would be max for your max health, max power, and you obviously can't go beyond those with your actual as well.
All right.
Okay,
So
done?
it's time for the reckoning.
So now we actually score it all up. So we'll work out Susan's next. I think we might be kind of close here. I think we're quite close here.
Yeah,
Let's see. Okay, so looking at, so again, we refer to, I'll show this once more. So we're referring to this scoring chart, working out how many points you get for each. So it's, you've got your totals here for each one, and then how many points you get for each category. So first off is your spell levels. You got up to 4,
Yes.
so that's 2 points.
Okay.
Next will be your quests.
I have 2 lonely quests.
2 quests, that's 1 more point.
Okay.
So you're at 3 points.
I is
Next would be goblin kills,
4.
is 6. So you're at 9 points.
Woo.
Man, this is a low score.
Yeah.
Okay, not not Susan's.
Aw.
We're both scoring quite low
Yeah.
here. That was not a shot at Susan. You're at 9 points, and then 4 for each legendary item, and you
Which
got
is just
1,
one.
so 13 points. Lucky number 13.
All right.
Okay, so over to mine. My spell level, I got up to 5, which will get me 4 points. Quests, I do have 4. That's another 6 for 10 points. My goblin kills, I only got 3, but that does get me 6. I'm going to count yours again.
Okay.
I think I might have given you the wrong points for goblins. You've got 4, which is 2. You're saying so many numbers around that it's easy to lose track here. And then you've got 2 quests, which is another 1 for 3. And then you've got 4 kills. Yes, 4 kills is 8
8. Okay.
for 12 and 4 for 16.
And I
There we
agree. Shovel guy is totally awesome.
All right, so you're at 16.
16.
So I've got 5 spells for 4. I've got 4 quests for 6. That's 10. 3 goblins for 6. That's 16.
But
And then the 2 legendary
You got
items is
another
another
legendary.
8 for 24. There you go. We did some good question there.
We did. It was
Okay,
epic. It
so
was
there
tiny.
you go. Yes. So that is Tiny Epic Quest. Now, I said that I would cover what happens when you get defeated during, like, if you're pushing your luck too much and you go down to 0 health. First thing is you would lose 1 step on your spells, so you would actually lose a level. And then all of your meeples come back to your castle. It doesn't matter if they're partway through a temple or partway through killing a goblin, you lose all progress and they come back. And that could be more punishing than losing that spell level. So far that hasn't happened. We haven't pushed
No.
we haven't pushed that much, but we have come very close on a few occasions. So then that is the base game. And then they do have another option, another variant. Instead of playing that green colorful side of the map cards, there is a darker side to the quest, or the map cards, I should say. It makes the game just a little bit more difficult. So if you notice, all temple tracks need 1, 1, 2, and 2, whether it's torches or scrolls. But on that darker side, it's 1, 2, 2, and 2. So these aren't as easy to move through as you saw, because you're either spending power points or getting a good roll where you're getting 2 at a time. And then the grottos aren't as forgiving or beneficial as on the front sides. Then there is also, and this is where I'm not sure if Nerfenstein's still in there. Good. So you can let me know. This must be Kickstarter. It's called the Golden Mushrooms. I haven't even opened this up yet, but it's got little mushroom meeples in there. So I don't know how that one plays. I'll let anybody else out there figure that out. And I think that is it. So how do you like Tiny Epic Quest?
Oh, I quite like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's colorful. There's It's very puzzling. You really have to. I tried not to sit and stare at the board and ponder my next move, but at times there's a lot of thinking to do, planning out your moves in advance. It's deeper than it looks.
It is. It is for the size of the box. There is a bit of crunch to the game.
Yes, yeah.
As I said, our scores were rather low there. But I think that's because we didn't want to be dragging stuff out and having you guys just watch us think for 5 minutes. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see the smoke coming out. But yeah, we taught somebody that's still relatively somewhat new to games. And it's easy to pick up. I did, when I was going through the rule book the first time, think, wow, this is a lot of reading. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, I've played other Tiny Epic games. I played Tiny Epic Galaxies. I played Tiny Epic Kingdoms, Tiny Epic Western. Love Tiny Epic Galaxies. The manual just seemed to, like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. But once you start playing those first couple rounds, it all clicks. It all makes sense. Now, I did say I'd touch on solo mode. Solo mode is pretty much the exact same thing. Same idea, but in the book, you've got difficulty levels. So you try and aim for one of these difficulty levels. It starts at 40 points. So that gives you an idea. That gives you an idea of how low our scores were here. I had 20 something. You had 16. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we're nowhere near that 40-point level.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The only thing that you do change is on the magic track. So here's the magic track. Up here it shows 2 to 4 players. If you're playing solo, it does actually change the magic track. So it shows here 1 player, and it changes the penalties. The penalties start on that second region on the magic track, as opposed to starting on the third region like it did on the 2 to 4 player.
Now, Mike Jones, or Mike, as we know him, is asking if this is a point salad at the end.
No, not really. There's 4 different goals you're going for, but point salad to me is something where you actually need a pad to start keeping track, like a lot of Feld games. He's very well known for having 8, 9, 10 different ways to get points. Everything you do, you sneeze, 2 points. That's a point salad. So I wouldn't describe this as point salad. There's 4 ways, but that's not quite salad. Maybe a side salad, but that's about it. Yeah.
It's a salad in a fancy restaurant where you don't have many choices. It's all
2 bites, you're done.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call it a point salad. So there you go. All right. So as I was saying earlier in the stream, we're scheduled to do Dragon Castle next week. And Mike, you're still in here, so like I said, I'll let you know if that changes. That was a request by Mike, and we do take requests for games. So it should be Dragon Castle. If not, then it also might be Harry Potter. That's what we were supposed to do last week, but because of a scheduling conflict on Dice Tower, we weren't actually able to stream last week. So that got pushed. So next week will most likely be Dragon Castle, possibly Harry Potter, and then whichever one didn't get streamed next week will be the stream the week after. We don't normally announce it that far ahead, but I'm fairly positive that's what we're going to be doing. In terms of contacting us, you can send an email to MichaelandMandiPlay@gmail.com. I can be found on Instagram as Pawlom, Pawlom.
And I'm on Instagram as RippedPunzel.
There you go. So that's Tiny Epic Quest. I hope that will get other people's copies to the table sooner, and I hope you enjoyed that play. Otherwise, thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you, Susan, for joining me again and filling in for my co-host that's on a cruise.
Hashtag not Mandy.
Yeah. And I will see you all next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.